Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Dockside at the Bay. I am Vinny, along with Kim. Yes, unfortunately, we missed this past Thursday for Dockside, but you know what? Sometimes things happen. And we are back now to talk all about Season 7, Episode 1. But before we get into the talk about the Emmy Award-winning web series, The Bay, Kim, how are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine, Vinny. My Buffalo Bills, I just watched them beat the Kansas City Chiefs, so I'm riding that football high right now.
Okay, very nice. Yes, we are recording on Sunday, November 2nd, 2025, just past Halloween. How was your Halloween? Did you get a chance to dress up?
Halloween was pretty fun, actually. I went to go and see the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, okay.
Just as a way to kind of, I don't know, celebrate a little. You know, it's something I always wanted to do, like go to the theater and get in the whole like audience participation thing with it, and it was a lot of fun. And then I saw some adorable trick-or-treaters in my neighborhood too, which just made me happy. So
very nice. That sounds awesome. I've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show either on the stage or in the movies. So,
it's an interesting time, and I'll leave it at that.
I've heard. I went to the movies. I went to go see the 40th anniversary release of Back to the Future.
Oh, nice.
So
very fun.
It shows my age. I'm old, but I do love the Back to the Future trilogy, and it was great seeing it on a big screen.
Very cool. Very cool.
So,
yeah. No, I got all my discounted candy at the grocery store the other day too. So now we're good.
I ended up ordering stuff from AMC and got a collector's cup and actually a DeLorean. So I'm happy with collector's DeLorean. So that excites me.
Very cool.
So in 4 years, hopefully they'll do the 40th anniversary release of Back to the Future 2, which would be nice. But anyway, so that was Halloween. We are fast approaching to Thanksgiving, but besides that, we are fast approaching to our second annual podcast-a-thon coming up in a few days. Coming up this coming Saturday to Sunday, November 8th to the 9th. We are going from 3 p.m. Eastern to 3 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be doing 24 straight hours. Now, with a caveat that after every 8 hours, we are stopping, resetting, and doing another 8 hours. Last year we did 26 hours straight, and we lost everything after the 10-hour mark in terms of interviews. So this year we're doing it a little differently. Confirmed guests, we are going to be having Jacqueline Grace Lopez back like we did last year. We are going to be having Julie Dove back like last year. Adam Huss as well has confirmed that he'll be back, and there are some other names that we are looking at. But Alice Boza, who is the chairwoman, I guess that's what you may call her, the leader of Samantha's Friends, because Samantha is her daughter, who I got to meet both Samantha and Alice this past September when I went to the Samantha's Friends event in Tampa, or Sarasota, I should say. Alice will be coming on to talk all about Samantha's Friends and the charity that we are going to raise money for. Also, I did get 2 books from, for those of you who are wrestling fans out there that listen to the Jim Cornette podcasts, you'll know this name, Charlie from Starkville, Mississippi, also known as Charlie Domino. He has written a number of books and a couple of comic books, and he's gratefully donated some books and comic books for us to auction off and sell for the proceeds to go to Samantha's Friends. So stay tuned to our social media, especially our X account, which is at Suds Media on X or suds-media.com on Blue Sky. Stay tuned to those 2 specific social media accounts, and we will be auctioning them off to the highest bidder, and the proceeds will go towards Samantha's Friends. So stay tuned to those as we go forward. With that said, now we do have to get into the Bay. And we actually haven't talked since, did we talk? since the daytime Emmys?
Did we talk since? I don't believe we touched base since then. Yeah, no, I don't think we had a chance to chat on the Emmys.
So the daytime Emmys happened again this past, it was a couple weeks ago now, Friday night,
Mm-hmm.
and we may have talked since then, but we didn't actually really talk about it.
True.
But the Bay actually got shut out this year.
Disappointing. But I mean, it has, gotten its flowers in the past. It has gotten recognition and the awards, but it's still disappointing to see it just kind of, closed out of especially when the daytime community is just so small. You would think that, but regardless, we still,
Yeah.
we know how good it is, and it's got the, Emmys to back it up. So it's,
Oh yeah.
I suppose it's okay, but it would have been nice to see them, squeak through again and get rack up another award.
General Hospital got their fifth straight daytime
Yes.
drama of the year, which is fantastic for General Hospital.
And I was happy to see Paul Telfer come away with it for Best Actor.
Yeah, Xander from Days.
Lovely human to interact with. I had a chance to interact with him at a fan event not that long ago last year, and just a lovely human, and he put in some fantastic work as Xander on Days. So I was really happy to see that.
So after listening to the latest episode of That's Awesome with Stephen Bradford, and of course, for those General Hospital fans know, it's Steve Burton and Bradford Anderson, Jason and Spinelli, they do have their own podcast, and it's a great listen. But they actually broke down and said this year the daytime Emmys were actually combined with the Tech Awards, the Tech Emmys this year. So it was actually kind of strange, some of the nominees for like lighting and set design and costuming and the Secret Life of Orangutans and the Secret Life of, I tell you, if you had Secret Life of in your title, you would have won an Emmy because a lot of them won. But, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I feel like with, they're just trying to, I mean, it's really, you look at previous daytime Emmys, videos, clips from online back from like the 80s, the 90s, it was a very, very different. Now it's very, streamlined, and it's very just, because there aren't nearly as many soaps and they don't get nearly as much love and attention and do as they should. I feel like every year with the award shows, we're just seeing more and more just kind of, I don't know, just things kind of getting just kind of shrunk down and not as, so it was interesting seeing those other categories being brought in and them combining worlds, but at the same time, it's just like, I kind of wish it wasn't necessary. I wish that we could just kind of stand on our own and have, that big kind of ceremonial sort of, but I guess we're just not in those times anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. But Steve Burton did make one thing, because I guess for Heron, was it Heron? No, Heron Makeup General Hospital won Heron Makeup, but for I got to check. It's one of the two, either Heron Makeup or costuming, that the Drew Barrymore show won, and General Hospital was nominated. And he had made a point to say they should have talk shows and drama series separate in that category, because
I agree.
Especially with like next year when Beyond the Gates is eligible to be nominated, their hair and makeup and their costume.
Oh gosh, it's incredible. Yeah, they really. It's fun seeing them have like the budget and the capability to just have, in terms of, because it looks. It just adds to the, it adds to the soap so much. It really does when they take the time and they really just give them those costumes, let them look like they, the Duprees are just, they own the town and they are in charge. And the Bay, does a good job when it comes to, making sure that they're able to build that world out so well too. But it's nice to see that reflected, especially, again, I don't mean to be all about Days of Our Lives, but comparatively, you see what's happening with Beyond the Gates and all the love and care that gets shown to those sets, to those costumes. And not to say that the costumes are kind of lacking on Days, but the sets are just, it's kind of sad. I mean, considering some of these couples live in what looks like, they've gone from mansions to what looks like a little one-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, it's nice to see. The Beyond the Gates definitely is able to kind of have that world created, and it'll be
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, when they're officially they get to throw their hats in the ring, and we'll get to see what they come away with in terms of the awards and everything. Because I'm guessing it's gonna do pretty well for itself. If I had to guess.
Yes, exactly. And we folks, I know we haven't done Gate Crashers in months, and we're gonna get back to it at some point.
Right.
Kim, Angela, and I are still big fans of Gate Crashers. It got too
Absolutely.
much on a Monday, and honestly, I've been going through so much of my personal life. As folks have known, I've moved, and I'm literally about a month behind on the gates. So I'm beyond the gates. So I have to catch up. I have a friend of mine who lives in Ohio who's like, "Have you caught up yet? Have you caught up yet? It's so good." I'm like, "No, I haven't. I have to sit down. I literally have to binge like a month." Thank God.
Well, it's a fun binge. It's a fun binge. You'll have a fun time once you have the chance to dive back in for sure.
Thank God for Paramount Plus, and I get ad free. So
yeah.
touchdown.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, for those of you who are General Hospital fans, I'm going to talk about this. I did talk about this actually. We're recording for this coming Thursday. Tomorrow night is Suds News, so we did talk about it on Monday. For those of you who have YouTube TV and have lost the ability to watch ABC, Disney, and ESPN because of their contract dispute, I am going to be doing a watch along on our Discord for episodes of General Hospital. I can't guarantee it's going to be every night, but I have Hulu Plus and the ad-free version. So I will announce this. Again, stay tuned to our social media, which is at Suds Media on X. I will announce when I'm going to be doing watch-alongs of episodes of General Hospital on Hulu for those of you who have lost the ability to watch it. I do recommend signing up to Disney Plus or Hulu. No, it's got to be Hulu because the Disney Plus version of Hulu doesn't have General Hospital, which is freaking bullshit. Which sucks because there's so much that migrated over there, but not General Hospital. Don't get it.
Doesn't make sense to me either.
I will start doing watch-alongs. I did one this past Friday for Friday's episode of General Hospital on our Discord. So stay tuned to our social media, and I'll announce when I'm able to do that. All right. We've gone on for about 15 minutes already. We haven't even talked about this episode, which is so.
And this episode there was so much happening in it. I mean, I know it was coming off of a crazy finale, but my goodness, they really just knew how to pack a punch. There's just so many scenes and so much intensity. So we got to get into it.
We definitely do. That's season 7, episode 1. I've actually switched over to watching on Prime Video because it's not on Peacock anymore. Peacock.
Yeah, I'm still on Tubi. I'm still using Tubi.
Again, I use Video because I don't like ads, and I can get ad free on Prime Video. So
there you go. Yeah, no, I don't have the ad free for Prime, so it's really 6 of one, half dozen of the other for me. Yeah. But Tubi has everything available. It's a nice little platform. Aside from the ads, they're all the episodes are just clearly laid out, easy enough to navigate. But yeah, this one there's a lot going on, and I mean, it just starts out on such a crazy note. I mean, you just see our hero, our boy, just waking up to a crying infant, which is just like, okay, immediately setting the tone. Lots of drama right off the bat.
Even before that, they do an entire retrospective of season 6.
That's true.
And just kind of go ahead and let people know what's been going on.
We did get that recap, which definitely comes in handy, especially, given the fact that when this was not that, I had to worry about it because when I was doing my initial watch, all of those seasons had already kind of been released. It wasn't like there was a big gap in between, but there's a lot that folks had to catch up on that happened in the previous season. So they definitely managed to encapsulate all of that, and just you watch that again and you're just like, wow, they did that, this happened and this happened, and holy cow.
Yeah.
Now where are they going to go?
So, and it ends with what happened in season 6. So now we're getting into season 7, and as you said, we start with Pete waking up to a crying infant, and it's like the nerve of Adam to take Vivian and leave the baby just kind of laying.
Especially after it's just been born. It's like but at the same time, you're also grateful that the baby is there with his papa.
Yeah.
And, at least there's that, but it's just, that entire, and even, when you hear a child crying, it automatically creates like a distress response. So to open on that, just having Pete wake up and hearing just the child cry, it's just like, we're just caught up in that intensity right away. And we're just caught up in all that action.
And it causes you as a viewer to that initial, like we knew that Adam was a villain from the very beginning that we saw him, but just the fact that he left an infant, a newborn, in the back of the
shows
instant heel heat, instant villain, like you.
Yeah, just showing there is no redemption arc for this character at this stage. You are straight up a horrible human if this is the way that you decide to just. It is definitely kicking him into irredeemable villain territory just based off of that alone.
For somebody, like obviously breaking the fourth wall, we know that Christos is playing both characters, but the fact that we see such a heroic, him portray such a heroic Pete Garrett. Now he's doing double duty, and he's portraying a completely 180 villainous Adam. Why can't I think of his name? Penway. It's just amazing to the point.
Definitely. Just the contrast. Totally, completely different characters and completely different origins and completely different just everything. And he does a masterful job at just playing both sides, playing that villain, playing our hero.
If this was wrestling, and let's say it's the same person, if Pete Garrett, turned heel, this is the epitome of like Hulk Hogan Bash at the Beach 96, turning on, turning heel and going to the NWO. But it's not. It's, completely different character, but he's portraying both roles. Mm-hmm. And holy cow, kudos to Christos for being able to make himself hateable.
And even though we don't really, we see obviously a lot of Pete in this episode, we know what Adam has done. We aren't necessarily seeing as much of him, but we know his influence is felt all over Bay City. So, but we get to see so much. I mean, pretty much every scene that Pete has, that intensity comes along with, and you just see his acting in this episode was just off the charts. Just, you just feel his pain and his anguish and his, fear and just even the looks on his face and his expressions and everything. It just, oh my gosh, your heart just breaks for the man.
We don't even see Adam at all in this episode. Like, it's literally the aftermath of what happened on season 6, episode 10.
And everyone's just grappling with everything that's gone down and trying to figure things out.
Let's just kind of stick with Pete and his arc for right now. He wakes up and he sees that, he hears the baby crying. He goes to swaddle newborn. He's yelling for Vivian to find out what the hell happened and what's going on.
Yeah.
And then after that, we kind of see a lot of other things going on, but Pete ends up arriving at the hospital with the baby. He's, talking to so many other people that are there.
He's in total hysterics. He's just he has no idea how to process everything that's happened. And he's like, holding his newborn son and doesn't even, like, not even aware of his or what's happening. I had to get the baby to the hospital, and that was his one driving force in everything. Is just protecting his son, which Papa Pete. I have to say, I love Papa Pete.
And that makes Pete, as we were just talking about how Adam is just so hated at this point, but that makes Pete all the more beloved because it's like he knows that his wife is missing, but like he's got to take care of the kid first. Like,
get that little baby to the hospital, get him looked at, make sure that he's okay, because you never know if Vivian was disappeared and, spirited off. Adam could have easily done something to the baby while Pete was unconscious. Anything could have happened. So immediately even if they're, and plus, newborn child delivered in a car, really, even if under better circumstances when there isn't a crazy supervillain that's involved in, all of it, you got to make sure that the kid's okay and check in on all of that. And the little baby, little cute little guy, full head of hair, big boy.
Yes, exactly.
All that, but yeah, his running in there and just running into, as he's like holding the baby, he's just getting all of his other news and just getting totally blindsided by everything, and it's just like, oh my god, that scene was so intense to watch.
Yeah, no, it was insane and crazy, and just the way that he puts the baby first and is like, you know what, my wife is missing, but I got to get this baby to the hospital. And you see the father bear mode come out, and just all of a sudden, like, he has instantly Christos. I'm sorry, but again, not to keep harping on it, but he's literally playing the most beloved character and the most hated character on canvas.
Yeah,
like, and you see it in soaps all the time. It's a soap trope. You have the identical twin who,
yes.
You have Anna Devane and Alex Merrick. Or
Adam Chandler and Stewart.
Adam Chandler and Stewart. You have John Lindstrom doing Kevin Collins and Ryan.
Janet and Natalie.
Yeah, exactly. So you have so many.
Good and evil twin is definitely a trope, but just the fact that the Bay embraced it so well and just decided to, rather than, like we've said all along, with Adam and his origin story, it was murky, it was kind of strange. We had everything with Tobin, and then we learned about the imposter thing. There's a lot to swallow with the entire character arc, but it's worth it because now that we know exactly what the situation is with Adam, and the opportunity to have Christos play both parts, I think, was totally worth all of the kind of confusion as to where the character, like his origins and where he came from, and then having the that whole journey was worth what we're seeing now on screen.
Yes, exactly, and it seriously helps that, and it seriously, and the other thing that I find completely, kudos to the Bay is that these are your top characters, your main event. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, instead of it being, a bit part like Kevin Collins and Ryan Chamberlain on GH, or somebody who's not the main character, like Anna Devane and Alex Merrick, or Stewart and Adam, or
Stewart was a pretty, he was pretty established.
I wasn't thinking of AMC at that time, so
yeah, no, Stewart was definitely more of like it was. They would show when Adam was especially bad, they'd bring Stewart in and be like, but we love Stewart, and Adam loves Stewart, and that is like Adam's saving grace. So they did, but I totally hear what you're saying when it comes to certain twin arcs and things like that. They don't necessarily, like the bit part kind of thing, character coming in to cause chaos and create crazy, here and there, versus being more of an established twin. With this, he's an established presence at this point. But even not seeing Adam in this episode, he's still there. He's he's everywhere because of everything that's just happened. So it's like that presence is still there. And I don't think they could have done that and pulled that off if Christos hadn't been like kind of playing both sort of, it adds to it so much, I think.
Yes, you're exactly right. I talked about, wrestling so much because of the heel turn for Christos, so to speak. But if you are a WWE fan and you want to get some cool WWE merch, we are an official affiliate of WWE Shop. So why don't you go over and get some stuff using our code, because we can get some commission.
Ladies and gentlemen, Suds and Squared Circle Media is an official affiliate of WWE Shop. If you want to buy stuff for the new AAA Mega Champion and WWE Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio, or the classic Stone Cold Steve Austin with his Austin 316 merchandise, or merch for Raw is War, SmackDown, or any other WWE show, just go to wrestlingmerch.suds-media.com or scan the QR code for our affiliate link. You can either go to wrestlingmerch.suds-media.com or scan the QR code on the screen, and you'll be taken to WWE Shop using our affiliate link. And anything you buy using our affiliate link, we earn commission.
So check that out and use our affiliate link for your WWE merchandise, especially with the holidays coming up, folks. But getting back into the Bay now, fantastic for Christos for the whole Pete and Adam storyline that we're going into. That's going to be an overreaching arc for the rest of the season.
Yep.
And we also saw in just kind of moving on to a very small thing. We saw at the end of season 6 that we saw Will show up for Liana's house.
Yes. Just saw the back of his head, but we knew who it was. We knew what was going on.
Right. Exactly. And we saw him there, but we don't see him or Liana at all in season 7, at least for this episode, because Nardo is. I mean, he's had his lines, but he's showed some passion in this episode. And he calls Lex, and Lex is doing his own thing, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But Nardo calls Lex and says, "Hey, you're going to get me to come out of retirement. I had to send my daughter away to a different place because of what's going on." And Will was apparently tipped off.
I mean, they lay a lot of groundwork there. It's a bit of an exposition dump. But it does let us know exactly what's going on with Liana, with Will. It explains, their absence in the aftermath of everything pretty well. Liana needing the protection, and Will, the tip off. It's an interesting way to bring that character back into the fold. So, having
clearly he still cares about Liana. But
right.
We also know that Liana is still on bail from
right. Will's still a cop. I know he's maybe been not in the line of duty since his hospitalization and what have you, and maybe I don't know if you lose your cop license or anything, or if he's on a leave of absence, or how that all worked when he was recovering. But yeah, just an interesting sort of turn of events for him and for her. But Nardo explains it, and then it's just, I had to send my granddaughter away because of all of this, or I had to be okay with this entire thing happening. Now we need to figure this out, and you guys need to get your act together over at the police force. You're what was this line? You're pulling me out of retirement.
Yeah. So apparently, I'm wondering if Will coming back and whatever, maybe he dropped the charges. He never
really, from what I remember, he didn't even really file them in the first place, because he had said he didn't want to. So, right. Obviously Colton didn't, take that to mean anything, and just, assume, was fully determined to charge Liana and make her pay and everything, even though Will was against it, and it said so. So,
right. So I guess now that he kind of came back in the fold, he was able to speak for himself.
Yeah, exactly.
He could have, as the victim, said, "I'm choosing not to press charges." So that's
if he was able to be up at Liana's door and able and willing to help her and do all, then obviously, charges were the furthest thing from his mind. And at least Colton isn't there to speak on his behalf. It's no, Will can stand for himself now and basically say this isn't okay, and I need to help Liana out however I can here, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yes, you're exactly right. So we'll see how that comes out. I know that Nardo is, former, obviously a retired cop.
And I like seeing him in action mode.
I do too.
Jumping back on the force. And then when he hears too, he's speaking with Lex and kind of reading him the riot act for everything that's happened, but for Lex to say what happened to Sarah and just, so just plainly and sadly, and, just, I can't focus on anything else right now. Nardo immediately understands, all right, where can I meet you? What should we do? He immediately goes into that protective sort of, I can help you. I can't believe you're going through this right now. Let me assist however I can. So he still, even if he's ticked off and confused and frustrated with the situation, he knows that Lex can't, function right now, and that he needs to step it up and help out.
So we'll see how that goes as we go forward in the season. But Lex meet me down at the station, and we'll get to some more stuff later on. We'll see what happens with Nardo, but Lex.
Yeah, and Lex says he's wrestling with a lot, though.
He is.
Not just what happened with, obviously what happens with Sarah, but he's also trying to figure out this whole Jensen thing. He's still trying to, figure out that whole thing. There's too much on his mind. Poor man. There's too much going on.
Yeah, because obviously we saw that Lex actually proposed to Sarah.
Yes. And that sweet little moment. That was such a cute proposal moment, but when he's all just their banter and his charm and just their chemistry together, it's so sweet. So it just makes
me miss Tristan Rogers.
It really does. It really does. He's such a watching these episodes with him, and we've said it before, but with Jackie Zeman, and as well as the actor playing Jack, just seeing all these faces and knowing they're no longer with us, it really is tough. It's really tough. Lex was always one of my faves, and he's so sweet with Sarah, and it hurts.
Yeah. So Lex obviously brings Sarah into, the second scene of the episode is Lex bringing Sarah, into the hospital, and we see a cameo from Real Andrews. It's nice to see him on our screen, but he's taking her back to surgery, automatically gunshot wound to the chest, or the abdomen rather.
Stomach.
So, they're getting her into surgery. Lex is like, I'm going back there. And, he's like, I'm going back there. And, doctors are like, no, you got to stay out here. You can't go back there. Let us do what we can. He's like, you cannot let her die. And, the doctors are like, and forgive me for not remembering Real's character's name, but
Dr. Campbell, but I can't remember the first name.
Yeah, but I'm just you've got to do everything, and he's like, we're going to do everything for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's frantic and he's scared, and it's just a very tough scene. And then you have Sophia and Jack. Obviously, they're there as well. Because he's found out about Sarah, and Sophia is just trying to getting everybody to calm down, just trying to tell her you can't get all worked up, because not too long ago he was in the hospital himself, Jack was, and it's like you can't be. So, but between her interactions with Jack and then also later on with Pete, it's like she's just going around trying to. You can see where Riley gets it from, just wanting to keep the peace and wanting to make sure that. This situation is horrible, but we need to, but Sophia just being there trying to just comfort and support everybody was just,
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I like the line that she tells Jack, like, you freaking out or panicking is not going to help anybody. Like, she's just literally soothing, and Jackie Zeman, obviously we lost her, a couple years ago. Or last year, about a year and a half. But her voice and her voice with a Southern twang, which is different from Bobby Spencer, but she just has that kind of voice that's just like calm down, breathe. Panicking is not going to help out, and same thing with Pete. Just like, okay, your mom's in surgery. It's and it's the same thing. She just has that loving attitude.
Brings that calm, brings that sort of energy to the situation, and we see that over the course of this season too. I appreciate her presence so much in this, because she just really, the way that you think with that character. I mean, I remember when she was first introduced in the beginning, you see her strutting around trying to take control at the wedding and all of that, and but she's really just in this season. You just see her just so heartfelt and open and just trying to help people, and it's just she's such a gem, and she's so sweet. And I loved her interactions with Pete too, when she was just, your son, he'll be okay. Focus on just bringing out that Papa Pete mode and trying to keep him grounded in that sense was just so touching to see.
It really is. And just she's that comfort in the entire episode at this point.
Because they're all grappling. I mean, there's so many horrible. I mean, even because we had that whole kind of sequence in the car with Zoe and Avery and RJ and Caleb. Yeah. And they're all also filling us in on everything that's going on, and them just describing the events and everything that took place. It's like almost as a viewer, you need that sort of comfort because you just think, oh my gosh, look at everything that these guys have just been through. And you could see in the car just how obviously rattled and shaken and scared. And you got Zoe, poor Zoe, just trying to tell her, it's going to be okay. We just need to get to the hospital. We're almost there. Just trying to be that reassuring presence as she's driving the car while they're all just trying to wrap their brains around everything that just happened. And it was a lot. I mean, what they describe, when they, came to and woke up and all of this, I mean, when they relay all those events, which we didn't see we knew obviously what was going on, but we didn't know everything. So they definitely do a good job of filling us in on the horror that they basically experienced. I guess knocking people out with propofol is, Adam's MO.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, it seems like that's the way it's going to be. Well, I mean, his entire team, like Adam was literally just there.
Oh, yeah. Mercenary weapon of choice, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, that it was a guerrilla tactic, just a complete attack on Bay City, using propofol to knock out the entire wedding party because we find out that Damien was shot and so was the priest.
Yes.
Damien was just shot in the chest. So, we'll see what's going to happen.
And not to mention, while they were knocked out, I mean, it wasn't because if they wanted to just kill everybody, they would have just killed everybody. The knockout was strategic because we learned that Daniel is missing. Well,
right. And we find out that it seems like it was a coordinated effort to shoot Sarah, who is the Garrett matriarch at this point in time. But also we find out that obviously Pete was knocked unconscious. So clearly Adam spared his brother from killing him, but he knocked him out.
He's doing it so that he can torture him and basically going after everybody that he loves. So
because
I may have spared you, but now you're going to be in for a world of hurt because of me.
Right. And obviously we find out that Tamara was also taken. She's nowhere to be found, but Evan was shot.
Mm-hmm. They show Evan in the ambulance. They have the parent. Oh, it's the DA. It's the DA. Because you can't see him right away. You just see a dark-haired gentleman on a gurney. You can't tell right away who it is. You wonder if it's possibly Damien, but then, big reveal. Nope, that's actually Evan. Evan was, not spared either.
Yeah. So Tamara being taken, who we've never really seen Tamara being that close to the Garrett family, but I think that might have been just like a personal thing for Steve because of everything going on. So it looks like it was the Garretts and the Blackwells that were targeting.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because otherwise, it's the Garrett element makes sense coming from Adam, but the Blackwell element makes sense coming from Steve because
it looks like our major villains are literally tag teaming this entire thing.
And it sounds like Steve is doing it. I think, what did they allude to? That he was in some bunker in Italy?
Yes.
Somewhere in Venice, working out of there. I'm like, all right, you jump around a lot, bud. Last time we saw you, you were in Istanbul. So, okay.
Yeah, because that's the intelligence that Lex gets.
Mm-hmm.
And, he gets it from one of his deputies or detectives that they find out from Interpol that Steve has kind of been tracked to Italy.
Yes, working in a bunker somewhere, something nefarious.
Right.
And then there was also too, even the interaction at the police station. They did show and I made a note of it. They lingered on one cop in the background who was just standing there looking
Yeah.
very sus.
I
And I'm
noticed
just like, oh, I'm like, okay, that
that.
could be nothing, or that could be something. You got a mole at the station, some guy that's involved or but they lingered on that guy with that suspicious look for a bit, and I'm just thinking,
Well,
okay,
I'm wondering if that's maybe the guy that tipped off Will, because
Could
again,
be.
how is Will, who hasn't been seen in it seems like ages, how is he tipped off to the fact that this attack was going to happen on Bay City?
That's fair. I mean, it was an interesting thread that they decided to just kind of add to the mix. Just having that, just to draw more, create more tension and more suspicion and wonder what's going on. And we also have that woman who's kind of, running the show with the reporting back to just explaining everything with the Interpol and explaining everything with Steve. So definitely, I mean, you can tell at least Lex has some support.
Task force.
Yeah, part of the task force, exactly. So, but we did get a lot of info all just kind of shuffled at us between, where Steve is and the tip from Will. And a lot of that just kind of thrown at us all at once. It was a little tough to digest, but it helps keep moving things along and, makes everything sort of make sense. But yeah, the whole episode just kind of felt like that. It's just we're getting peppered with all this information and we're just like, wait, that happened to so-and-so? Wait, so so-and-so's disappeared? So wait, it was a lot to just kind of take in all at once. Even on a rewatch, I was just, wait a minute, that happened? Oh shoot, I'd forgotten that.
So much stuff has gone on in the aftermath of this attack,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're like, this was a very information-heavy show, which obviously being the first episode of the season, and picking up after such a fantastic cliffhanger, and we know how the Bay. It releases it every year. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Season 10 now is in the books, but they're still showing the episodes of season 9 on Popstar. So season 10 will be released at some point. I would assume pretty soon. But for season 6 to 7, I don't know what the time frame was of how quickly it was. How quickly after it was released.
Yeah, I'm not sure myself. I'm curious. If we get a chance to chat with Mr. Gregory Martin at any point, I wonder if he could maybe shed a little light on that for us and just kind of.
You know what? I gotta be honest with you. I feel like season 7 was released maybe when we started Dockside at the Bay, so maybe 2 years ago.
Actually, I think that tracks. That sounds about right.
So season 8 then was released after that. In season 9. So it could be, they could be on track to release season 10 very soon, because I know that season 9, the Valentine's Day episode, was part of season 9.
Yes.
And I know I watched like this. I want to say I watched the second half of season 7. So it could have been. I think. I don't know. Well we're gonna get into all of this.
Hey, there's a lot of action we got to unpack in this episode too. Trying to figure out exactly when they were airing. I mean, that's a whole other layer. Let's save our brain power for unpacking the episode.
No, you're exactly right. But there was a lot of information in this episode. Because they did mention former DA John Blackwell let them know that that Steve's in Italy, so he's on the path.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. We don't know what happens to Damien. We don't know what happens to the priest.
No, we do know what happens to Damien, actually, at the very end.
I didn't know. I thought I must have missed it.
Yeah. No, we do get that because it was right at the tail end but we do have that moment where Sophia walks up to the window while Avery and RJ are in with the baby. And all it takes is just that look from Sophia, and Avery knows to go and see what's going on. And you got RJ in the background looking a little mystified, but you can find out really quickly that Damien is, no longer with us. Which that was kudos to, and I'm blanking on her name, but the actress who plays Avery in that scene broke
Alicia
my
Lee
heart.
Wills.
Yes.
Well,
Oh
Alicia
my
Lee
gosh,
Wills.
that just, because her and Damien, I mean, that relationship, it was a little bit not second fiddle, but they weren't like a primary relationship. But every interaction that they had was so sweet and so lovely.
Yeah.
And it just, it really was just devastating seeing her reaction to his death.
Yeah, no, it really was. So, okay, I didn't pick up on that.
No, because at the very end, they did a lot of jumping around. They flashed back to like everything that transpired with Pete by the car, because he was but they were showing in real time, like, or not real time, but they were showing what was playing out. So like almost recapping it. But then they like jumped right into, also there was something with Dr. Campbell, Will's father, talking about money that he received or some sort of grant money, which was kind of a random insertion, I thought, at the tail end of the episode. He had a Zoom call with that woman, Miss Wagner, I want to say.
You know what? I missed it. I got to be completely honest with you. I think what happened was when you texted me and asked and said you weren't feeling good on Wednesday, we couldn't record. I was in the middle of watching it and I stopped. I meant to go back to finish it.
Well, I apologize. I'm sorry. I cut you off from some pretty significant little, like, nothing crazy, but it was still kind of an unusual moment. It was just towards the tail end of the episode after, and there was kind of a funny moment too at after Pete does his little bit of recapping and flashes back to everything that went down at the car, and he's explaining it all to Lex. He says like something about Adam watching that, and Lex was like, well, that's kind of creepy. But just the way that he said it, Tristan Rogers, the way he delivered that line, it slayed me. It made me miss him all the more. It was just so funny. He's like, that's kind of creepy. Because it was. I mean, just watching it all play out. But not long after that moment, though, we did have it where Dr. Campbell is Zoom chatting with a woman who I don't think we'd seen before. Unless I missed just a brunette named Miss Wagner. Apparently the hospital's getting some sort of money. But also just kind of like, why is this happening? Why are we seeing this woman? What's going on here?
So I'm going to have to finish.
It was just, it seemed like innocuous. It seemed just like, oh yeah, we're just giving you, the hospital's earning some money. Cool.
Yeah.
But it was a detail. And I kind of forgot where it goes or what it leads to, but I made a note of it. And then we also had, just with the very, very end, obviously, because Sarah being shot in the gut, and that whole, all of a sudden, we get the vitals crashing and, heart rates dropping, CPR, whole 9 yards. And I feel like this, when we were talking about the timeline for when these episodes were filmed, I want to say that this was, I wonder if like Mary Beth Evans just was like playing like dual roles, just hospitalized when her character was on death, because Kayla was going through the whole like illness thing on Days right around, and I know that Days films a lot and they're pretty, they jump far ahead, but I gotta wonder if like she was just kind of doing scenes for the Bay, doing scenes for Days, and basically just, my character is basically at death's door on both of these shows concurrently. So, but yeah, that was kind of a scary way to, end the episode, because it does show like it flashes very quickly to just a hallway at the very, very end, and you see Sarah and someone standing there, and then fade to black.
I did see that. Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, which that's a little ominous. Like,
yes,
Sarah, no, don't walk into the light, or wherever that is. Don't go down the hall.
I think that's meant to be Lee. I would assume.
Yeah, it's leading into something. I do kind of remember as I was watching that, it started coming back to me, because it's been a bit since I've seen this chunk of episodes for obvious reasons. So, but yeah, I do remember where it kind of leads. But even like, just the last like couple of minutes, they still managed to just like throw a few little like sneak attack. Here's some more drama. Here, we're gonna tack this on in addition to everything else. It's like, gosh, give us a rest. It's an intense episode.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But I think we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, I think so too. I was just going through the rest of my notes, but I think one line though that when Pete is kind of rehashing everything to Lex,
Mhm.
Oh, and when he also just has this kind of when Pete learned about what happened to Sarah, and he's just like, "Where is she? Where is she?"
Mhm.
Little boy Pete was right there. I was like
Oh
seeing
yeah,
Pete from like Bay the beginning. I was seeing, just
yeah.
oh gosh, he just completely reverted back, and it was just so devastating. Again, kudos to Christos because he just knocked it out of the park in this episode.
Oh, absolutely.
But that just was like absolutely. And even when he comes in holding the baby and can barely even speak, and he's just trying to get the words out, it's like that's so relatable, and that's so just like he can't even like talk, and he just sounds so. His voice doesn't even sound right. He's just such a. It was so well done. I just made a note of that for myself, just because. Yeah, he's killing it. Oh, and then, but he did even have, a moment or a line where he's just, I'm at a complete loss. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of how that's kind of where we're
Yeah.
at too. Just
Exactly.
with everything that's gone down. That was like, speaking for the audience almost. I'm at a complete loss.
No, you're exactly right. Exactly. But I mean, that kind of wraps up this episode. Just a jam-packed episode. I can't wait for the rest of season 7. If episode 1 sets the tone for the rest of it.
Absolutely.
But folks, just a reminder, in 2 days, starting this coming Saturday, the 8th of November at 3 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be podcasting for 24 straight hours to raise money for Samantha's Friends. Remember, the link is in the description to donate now. You can donate. I'm challenging everybody to donate to double the charity donation that we donated last year, which was $350. So this year I'm challenging everybody to donate $700. Did talk to Angela. She said she's going to do a GH themed Zoom Friday night to perhaps also raise money for Samantha's Friends. So I'm not sure how that's if that's going on, but stay tuned to all of our social media channels, and we will keep you all posted for all the stuff that's going on this coming weekend as we go to raise money for a fantastic charity, Samantha's Friends. But we are out of time for today. Kim, where can everybody find you?
So can't talk. Sorry. Misfit 8690 on Twitter and a Little Misfit 52 on YouTube, and it's Instagram as well. Even though my Instagram profile, I don't know, not the most active, but that is my handle there. Feel free to reach out to me about soaps. Feel free to chat with me about soaps and whatever strikes your fancy.
All right. And as always, I am on Facebook and Twitter at Vinny Suds. At Suds Media is our network for our Network X account that I use a lot and use mostly. However, Suds and Squared Circle Media is also on Facebook. On Instagram and Threads, it's at Suds and Squared Circle. On TikTok, it's at Suds_media. But for everything, you can visit our Linktree, which is linktree.com/sudsmedia. But also go to suds-media.com, which brings us to our YouTube channel. And if you're not subscribed, you should be. Hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications bells. We are currently sitting at 436 subscribers, so we are less than 75 away from that 500 to help us get monetized and help us grow our network. So go on, again, suds-media.com brings us to our YouTube channel. We are doing some revamp of our merchandise, so that'll stay tuned for that over the coming weeks. But again, for everything Suds and Squared Circle Media related, go to suds-media.com. All of our sponsors are listed on our Linktree, which is again linktree.com/sudsmedia. So check all that out. But folks, we will see you this coming Saturday and Sunday for a 24-hour podcast-a-thon to raise money for Suds, for Samantha's Friends. So
very exciting. Looking forward to it.
Yes, I am looking forward to it as well. So for Kim, I'm Vinny. We will see you very relatively soon for the podcast about. We'll also see you next week as we go dockside at the bay. Have a great night, everybody.
Take care, everyone.